Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Prof Joff, and we're back with another video from Gigguk. This is the hentai that made me cry. Let's check it out.
Sponsored by Raycon. In recent times, the act of watching
Someone actually sponsored the making of the hentai that made me cry. I can't believe this
hentai has
shit.
become less of a shared secret we all agree to not publicly talk about to something more akin to a celebrated meme. I watch hentai, you watch hentai, the sauce. Give me the sauce. Mum, did you get those Yu-Gi-Oh cards I asked for?
It said anime, so I bought it for you.
And you know what? I'm all for it, because why should you feel ashamed whether you're browsing the latest doujinshi, appreciating the new pink pineapple masterpiece, or if you're feeling a bit nostalgic and you put on a golden oldie like Bible Black and treat yourself to a good old...
Yo, Bible Black has so many scenes that are fucked up, but I'm not gonna say anything more because it's getting into the dangerous territories.
Even anime has jumped on the train with the recent abundance of shows seemingly with hentai plots. From Escorts in Another World, Drop the Mister and Get With Your Sister, or most recently, Peter Grill and the Post-Nut Clarity. It's like the entire industry has just collectively...
God damn, that bitch thick as fuck.
Grill and the Post-Nut Clarity. It's like the entire industry has just collectively agreed to be horny on main. But in between all the memes, there's a world I've discovered that's completely changed my view on the medium. That showed me that plot can sometimes be more important than plot. And even some of the most perverted, kinky, degenerate content out there can bloom into something beautiful and touching that could even make you cry. At both ends. And the series that opened the door to that world for me was... Nozoki-yana. Nozoki-yana is a 13-volume manga series that has been adapted into a 3-episode OVA that I discovered
13 volumes.
after watching Domestic Girlfriend. Jesus Christ.
Okay, we're going down the timeline. Like last time we reacted to the Domestic Girlfriend shit, now we're reacting to this, so timeline's sinking in, boys. And girl, I think I had like a girl watching the channel, so
because that series set me down this rabbit hole to find more shows that can give me a taste of that spice that I discovered, which of course led me to this. Because if Domestic Girlfriend was the ghost pepper that almost killed me, I was ready to start munching down on a fat Carolina Reaper. Kido, some beta-ass art school student who moves into a new apartment in the big city with dreams of starting his perfect college life. Girls, drinking, and of course, an education. Oh wow, I hear you got a PhD. Yeah, that's right, I got a PhD. Pretty huge. Only that was a fucking lie. The moment he steps foot in his new apartment, he finds a crack in the wall, and after peeping through it, it's met with an...
I think I've read this. I think there's heavy cooking in this shit, and I think I've read it. I think he likes a girl. Okay, let's just get into it.
The knife of his neighbor, blasting her gash with enough vigor to overload the Pornhub servers. Being caught in the act, he goes over to apologize, only to trip over and face plant in her chest so hard her nipples could have probably knocked out a few wisdom teeth. But it turns out that the female in question actually set this all up, being the true masturbator that she is, and uses this fact to blackmail our main man to set up some kind of messed up system, where they each take turns spaffing one out for the other to watch on alternating days of the week. Yes, they actually made a calendar schedule they stick to like clockwork to spy on one another. This girl's coordination when it comes to peeping is somehow more organized than my fucking life. Did I mention Nozoki-yana literally means a peephole? What follows is a hot, steamy mess of a voyeuristic fantasy, as Kido's entire college life has become a real-life OnlyFans account, where his next-door neighbor is the only subscriber. If this sounds like a cheap premise for a hentai plot, well... Did you miss the fucking title of this video? While it can be argued whether Nozoki-yana even counts as a hentai, because like something like interspecies reviewers, the sex scenes don't explicitly show all the genitals.
I think it's just considered ecchi, or you know that shit. It's like, it's not actual hentai, it's just like borderline hentai.
It totally is for me. Hell,
you can get off on this shit. Trust me. Trust me.
The stuff here feels more explicit than most of the real hentai out there. No expense is spared in the smallest sadistic detail. It is hot. It is steamy. There's some real kinky shit in here that will make you go, wow. Sexy. Anyone coming here looking for that kind of...
What the fuck is this? Bro, why do I feel dirty now? Jesus Christ, Gigguk, my boy, why you do this to me?
Sexy. Anyone coming here looking for that kind of a good time will surely be satisfied, but that's not to say that this manga is all about its explicit scenes. What makes a series like this stand out from a typical hentai plot is that the sex scenes don't just serve a single purpose. As perverted as it can be, the series never prioritizes degenerate content in favor of advancing the plot. In fact, they are both tied together. The plot complements the hentai scenes, and the hentai scenes helped to build on the plot. This messed up premise, this truly messed up relationship that's begun between the main character and the peephole girl Emiru, contributes to the drama that occurs throughout the rest of the story. Kido has to continue to live out the college campus lives in many of the usual ways you'd expect from a teen rom-com. Kido finds other love interests, he has relationships with people, falls in love, and does everything else a normal young adult would do. But no matter how much he hopes for a private or even normal love life, it's damn near impossible when there's Emiru on the other side of the wall fanning the fur at her own pleasure whilst watching him, all while having to keep the secret of the fucked up relationship.
Yo, who did this? Who put fucking Rambo on that?
All while having to keep the secret of the other side of the wall, fanning the fur at her own pleasure whilst watching him. All while having to keep the secret of the fucked up relationship he shares with the person on the other side of that wall. It quickly changes from a...
I think she falls in love with him, but doesn't actually want to be with him. She wants to... it's some fucked up shit,
kinky
bro.
hentai plots to a genuinely messed up situation. But unlike a normal hentai, it never forgets the reality of it all. It knows how messed up it is, and it uses this to build up the tension and drama surrounding the whole situation. Every new chapter, no matter how kinky or perverted, advances the plot or explores a new facet of a character. And through all this adultery, drama, and spice, you begin to lose track of why you started reading it in the first place. You're genuinely more interested in what's going to happen next than what you're holding in your dominant hand. And the reason I think it works is that behind its perverted fantasy and passion for degeneracy, at its core, it is a romance drama. And what really sells the series is our queen of perversion, Emiru. To put it quite bluntly, Kido is pretty much just a generic, boring harem protagonist. He's wishy-washy, wimpy, and has an immature attitude to everything, not committing to any ideals, just taking things as they come and commonly making really bad decisions in the face of adversity. But paired with a perverted maniac who'll do anything she can to see him firing off some knuckle children, it results in an interesting dynamic and some really spicy drama.
Yeah.
The first half of the series sees Kido forcibly put in some of the most perverted situations you could think of, which, as odd as they are, also kind of make you feel bad for him. This is a man who's in some messed up shit because one sex-crazed psychopath won't allow him to stop. You start to get invested.
I do not feel bad about him at all, bruh. Just give me my fucking neighbors being a hot ass chick that wants to see me get off, and I'm fine for life, probably.
In this relationship with other girls, you start hoping you can find some modicum of a normal love life, but in the back of your mind, you start wondering, what the fuck is the deal with this girl? How can anyone be as passionate at something in life as she is about peeping on other people? It's the mystery of Emiru that makes so much of it compelling. At the start, you're led to believe that she really is just some kind of weird nymphomaniac, obsessed with dialing her rotary phone in front of this crack in the wall. But somehow, as more of her past is revealed, as absurd as it sounds, her actions begin to make sense in its own twisted logic. Needless to say, I really was fully unprepared for how things would start to unravel. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this was the most fascinating piece of fiction I've ever read. I was interested in what was going to happen next, but let's be honest, it still felt like I was consuming some top tier junk food with a damn near spicy sex scene every chapter. I knew why I was enjoying this series, and the fact that I cared about the plot was just a nice little sprinkle on top. But then throughout the mid to late stages of the story, something unthinkable happened to me. I got emotionally invested. The story just starts to dig its claws into you. It's a horny, dramatic mess of a fucked up romance that turns into a bittersweet tale of abuse, loss, and longing. You start off by cheering for Kido to do everything in his power to get rid of Emiru, but the further you read on, the more you feel like he needs her, and she definitely needs him. She's a twisted, messed up, broken individual, and she knows it. She is well aware of all the fucked up way it manifests, but the more you find out about her, the more you just hope that she can find someone that could help her through all these issues, break down all the barriers she's put up, and just find some happiness in her life. Despite how much sex and kinky shit,
and just fuck her. Okay, I'm sorry, it's probably the wrong time to pause this.
Someone that could help her through all these issues, break down all the barriers she's put up, and just find some happiness in her life. Despite how much sex and kinky shit that was happening, the series was blue-balling my heart. And because how utterly blindsided I was that I was this invested in a story like this, it somehow broke me down. I shed a tear. I actually cried over a fucking hentai. One of the most horny, kinky, and perverted series I had read somehow hit the G-spot of my soul. And it really opened the door for me to something new. I'm equally proud and ashamed to say that Nozoki Anna awoke something in me. And no, it wasn't a brand spanking new tag for me to look out for when browsing new hentai. I mean, it wasn't only that. What Nozoki Anna showed me was that hentai could be more than just cheap fat material. This is an art form that can deliver stories that can hit on a real depth on an emotional, mental, spiritual, and of course, erotic level. And a story like this is truly unique than just finding other stories that just hit these points individually. It's a combination that you rarely ever get to see, but whenever you do discover something like this, it's a beautiful experience that you can't get by just watching your typical romance anime or jacking off to your typical hentai. And this series damn well woke my desire to find other stories like it, while also ruining how I view hentai forever, cause who the fuck is—
Okay, come on, bro. You don't have to make excuses to jack off even more. We don't need the excuses, we know what this is all about, so come on. Just don't.
While also ruining how I view hentai forever, cause who the fuck is browsing X videos and thinking to themselves, you know what this porno is missing? Character development.
Your brother's doing unspeakable things to me.
What the fuck? You didn't get my cereal?
Is this a masterpiece of a story that will stand up with the greatest manga of all time? No, it's an erotic fantasy about some chick buttering her crumpet while some dude watches. But it is a rare enigma that is able to combine this perverted premise into a final product that's hotter than most hentai and more touching than most romance manga. And if you didn't know that the world of hentai could be more than just a service to a quick jack-off session, then Nozoki Anna is one of the best gateways you can find to get into that world. There is so much more to hentai than just wearing an ahegao hoodie, passing over some 5-digit newt codes, and getting a limp dick the moment you see Queen Bee is adapting your favorite doujinshi. And that is why, no matter what your preference, no matter what your kinks or fantasies, the most superior hentai tag will and always has been plot. Now go crazy, you fucking degenerates. Just don't forget that you'll probably need twice the amount of tissues for this one. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Again, I just want to thank Raycon for sponsoring me today. Look, I'm just a guy who wants to listen to his anime openings in peace without having to explain why I'm still listening to the Domestic Girlfriend opening again for the millionth time. Because it's a fucking banger, alright? Just leave me alone. And the Raycon earbuds—
that sounds actually
do
good.
this perfectly. They're compact, they're convenient, they're easy to use. All I have to do is just open them up, it connects automatically, and I put them in and just play my music. They're super comfortable, so I hardly even notice it when they're in, and the case comes with enough charge that I rarely need to recharge it. I got these about a month ago and I use them pretty much every day now, whether I'm just going out, working out at the gym, or just chilling. And it's great value for money as well, because it's about half the price of other premium wireless earbuds while sounding just as good. The one I got is the Everyday E25 model, which is one of their best—
Okay, I think that's enough, right? Enough product placement. Anyway, I think I've read that shit, and I do remember there was some fucked up moments which kind of ruin your jacking off, you know. So the problem with how long that thing is, I think it's long as fuck, is that you jack off, and after you jack off, you don't really feel like continuing reading it. So you just bookmark it, you wait for your dick to recharge, you know, and then you go back at it again. I mean, it should do you a good solid 5 to 6 jack offs. Or pussy slaps, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, it definitely gets the recommendation from me as well. Anyway, that was Gigguk's the hentai that made me cry. I did not cry at this, but I did beat my meat. So yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a nice day.